Hey everyone. So welcome to an episode of Turnfit in the Community. Today, luckily, we have Deidre Sirianni. She's an impact coach, and she's actually specifically working with me. So I thought it was extremely important to bring her on because she's helped me speed up some of my business and personal goals. When I first met her, what I straight up told her is like, I have very strict guidelines when I'm meeting a coach or somebody that wants to help me. So I believe that they have to be way above me and have a bunch of stuff figured out and systems in place for themselves to help to be able to help me. So, and I went through all the things that I'm looking for, and we just hit it off right at the beginning. And in just short, like, has it been like 5-6 months, Deidre?
Yeah, I would say we've been working together for about 6 months now.
Yeah, so she's helped align things for me so that I kept thinking in the 10-year process and certain limitations that I was having that were hanging around still, that sped it up. And it's only been like, I've been conquering almost everything I need to do in the 10-year process in like the 5 months. So I thought everybody needs to know about her. So here she is. So Deidre, can you explain a little bit about what you do and why you do it?
Totally. Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me. This is so much fun. I love collaborating and sharing and all the things. And so I feel like it's very challenging to articulate what I do because it's an experiential thing. Essentially, the work that I do is I help people like you, David, or really anyone, but I mainly work with people who want to make a big impact in the world, who have a strong message to share or a product that they're bringing to market. You can see my crazy cat in the background. Who knows how he's going to show up during this and so anyone who really wants to make some sort of change in the world, that is mainly the clients that I work with, but really this work is for everyone. And what I help them do is unleash their gifts, unleash the truth of who they are, unleash the expression, unleash the beast, whatever you want to say. And I help them step into that unapologetically full on. Because the thing is, when we are someone in the world that wants to make a change, we have to be so aligned with who we are, our message, and we need to be confident and be able to articulate and express that in a really powerful way that lands. Otherwise, naturally, our impact is limited. So to sum up what I do is I help impactpreneurs quiet the noise, quiet the distractions that pull them out of alignment, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I help them create systems and tools as well as just ways of being so that instead of an obstacle or let's say a goal seeming so far away or challenging, that you can just step forward and achieve it. And it's that simple. And so essentially I help impactpreneurs get their message out there, make a bigger impact, love their lives, and really just show up fully so that other people have permission to show up fully too. And so I think that's a decent way of summing up what I do, but it's also limiting. Essentially, I help people find freedom and joy in the work that they do and discover their true selves. Because when we're not fully aligned with our truth and we don't know who we are, then we might be living a bit of a lie. And that sounds pretty sounds a little intense and full on, but it's true. Most people are walking around and, living a life that isn't fully their own. And that's what leads to a lot of upset, a lot of chaos, a lot of being out of alignment, a lot of stress, a lot of dis-ease in the body. So my purpose for the work that I do is if I can help leaders turn their light on, essentially, illuminate and get really strong in where they are, the world's going to be a better place because more people are going to turn their lights on, more people are going to know what they want and who they are, and the world is going to be magic, which it already is, but there's always another level.
Yeah, I love it. And I like specifically, well, I like all of it, but I like the point where you mentioned like possibly lying to yourself, maybe not in those exact words, but we convince ourselves of something and maybe somebody else told us that we should feel that way or do that, or we're convincing ourselves. Like the common thing I hear all the time is I don't have enough time. Um,
Mhm.
and I would argue that it's not the truth that you don't have enough time. Things are just not enough of a priority in your mind yet. So, but if I tell myself over and over, I don't have enough time, me personally, I'm just lying. Things are just not enough of a priority in my list yet to accomplish them. So I think little switches and stuff like that you can help people realize. Like again, day one when we met, I kind of already knew the part of the things that you were telling me, and you just helped me a little bit break through that and figure out why I'm telling myself these stories. Or well, there's many things, I won't share all of them, but yeah. So why did you get into this line of work? Um,
Well, how much time do we have?
Unlimited. No, I'm just kidding.
Time is an illusion.
Yeah.
Um, so why did I get into doing what I do? So there's a lot of pieces that I mentioned that are the reason why I do what I do. I want people to be in alignment with who they are, live their truth, be that fully expressed, to not have chaos and disease and stress and anxieties, because those are all manifestations of being out of alignment with our purpose and getting bogged down in distractions. Illusions is what I like to call them, same thing. And or living a lie, right? Not fully living to our fullest potential, or being the person that we deep down know that we're here to be. So the reason why I do the work that I do, or how I got into it, is that for most of my life I was living a lie, and that it's just the truth. I didn't know who I was, and I grew up thinking that I had to put on this facade of being the happiest person everyone knew and being everyone's cheerleader, which I naturally am. I love helping and supporting people, but there was a side of me that no one saw. And that side of me was in a lot of pain, didn't know who I was, and felt like it wasn't safe to speak my truth, to ask for help, or to share that I wasn't in a good place in my life. And so that manifested into my adulthood, and I continued to have obstacles and events that came into my life that brought on more pain, but I was so used to shoving down my intuition, to not listening to what my soul was trying to tell me, and it caused more pain in my life. And how that manifested was as anxiety. I started to have a lot of anxiety. I'm like turning away from my crazy cat, Lewis. Started to have a lot of anxiety. I lost a chunk of hair. Luckily, I grew it back. And I manifested dis-ease in my body. And the universe, as I like to say, it doesn't really matter what words I use. This is just how I describe my world. You might use something else. And that's totally fine. But I felt like the universe or my body was trying to say, hey, listen, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. But I was so stubborn because I was so out of touch with who I was for so long that I ignored it until I had a rock bottom moment about 5 years ago. And that was a point where I had to decide, am I going to keep living the way that I'm living? Which, to be honest, I thought was kind of normal until I had that rock bottom moment. I thought other people had the same experiences I was having, which is like not true at all, because now I'm blissed out most days and I feel great. But back then, I thought it was normal until I had my rock bottom moment. And when I hit my rock bottom moment, it was a combination of a few things. Losing a chunk of hair was a big part of it. Also, having a thought of committing suicide. And the disconnect here that I really want to share and drive home is that a lot of people, most of the people that I've met in my life or I've worked with, who are the happiest people from the outside that you see, that you experience, that you think they have everything together, those are the people oftentimes who are so disconnected from their emotions and have had suicidal thoughts or do have depression. And so I was that person. Everyone thought I had it all together. Everyone thought I was happy. I convinced myself I was happy. You know what I mean? Like I was really good at living this lie, this facade. And so I had my rock bottom moment and I had to wake up. and say, okay, listen, Dee, you can either continue down the path that you're on, which doesn't look like it's going to end very well. I wasn't happy. I numbed out the good parts of my life. I didn't really feel the pain. I just kind of felt like I was coasting, or I could do something differently. And luckily, I chose the path of doing something differently. And that started with Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. That book is like amazing. And I started asking myself deeper questions and doing the inner work. And, this was more than 5 years of intense personal development. And I was already in it before that. I had a big company that sponsored me in my last business. And I had all these trainings from all these like gurus and teachers and leaders, but I never felt like it went past a certain layer of support. I felt like it was like, follow this framework, your life is going to be amazing. And it just was not it. So through my transformation, through my rock bottom moment to finding a different path, working with a shaman, doing affirmations, going to every single personal development workshop I could go to, reading all the books, doing all the things, I realized that everything I had gone through was cookie cutter. So I took little pieces from here and there, and I finally decided, you know what? I am going to help other people overcome this, because it doesn't have to be hard. Life doesn't have to be hard. Business doesn't have to be hard. What makes it hard is us not living in alignment with our truth. And that is the first step to making an impact in the world, to being a good human, to being a person of connection with yourself and others, is removing the veils, removing the gunk, and stepping into your truth. So the reason why I do the work that I do, there's probably 1,000 reasons, but for the conversation here and me not talking for an hour by myself, is I see other people's pain. I can tell when someone's not aligned, and I see them at their fullest potential, and I want to accelerate that time from where they are now to their fullest potential. And that's what I do in a short amount of time with my clients in business and in life. And the reason why I do it is because the world would be such a better place if we all just knew who we were and we lived it. Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I like that you say like a lot and aligned, because I think that's a huge reason why we aligned and we work really well together. Because of also your backstory a little bit is very similar to my backstory. And then you just see different potentials. And my backstory is, I used to lie to myself too. And I used to say to myself, everything's okay, everything's awesome, everybody knew me as super happy. But at that point in my time, like maybe 8 years ago, I wasn't. And same or similar, not the exact same, but similar is, I thought about ending my life and different ways, and I was very close. But I still wanted to help people, and I was designing my business and scaling it up so that somebody else could take it over so that other people could still get help, even though I wasn't getting help myself. I was telling myself I was okay, but it wasn't. And then self-development courses over and over and over. And I believe that everybody needs a coach to help them always be better. And even though I felt even amazing meeting you still at that point, I was like, there's always potential to be better. And for me, I never ever want to go back to that old David. So I always want to partner up with who I think is the best at the time, and just to hold me to the best and keep going together and together as a team. So I really like that we align, and I'm sure other people hearing this story will probably maybe feel similar or ask themselves, am I the best me, or am I lying to myself? Am I trying to live something I'm not? And I think those are the people that do need assistance in life. And again, I think everybody needs somebody to hold them accountable and to hold them to the best themselves.
Yes. And I think really the first step to knowing if you're, not fully aligned with your purpose or living in your alignment with your true self and your true nature and your highest potential is to ask yourself, where do you have conflict? Where do you have resistance in your body? Where are your triggers? And if you have a lot of triggers, things that, people say or do that really bother you and cause an emotional response, that's a sign that you need to really think about where are you not aligned with your truth and living fully to your capacity. So a few years ago, I made a few changes in my life, and everything, I would say 95% of my life was aligned. I was feeling pretty good, right? And because I'm an accelerator, I'm like, okay, if this isn't working, I got to fix it. I got to do it. But there was this one thing that I wasn't willing to face, and it was causing me not to fully live in my power and for me not to fully live full on. And so just 2-3 years ago, I finally made that switch. And that's when everything I could have ever imagined in my life and business fell into place. And it was that simple. So I really think the first question, to go a little bit deeper as far as are you aligned or are you not aligned, is how much conflict do you have? How many triggers come up? And I could go on and on about triggers, and I could talk about trauma and all these other pieces, anxiety, but it's really about noticing what is preventing us from doing really what we are here to do. And when we get clear on that, we can see where we're out of alignment or maybe out of integrity with our soul. Because I met this really interesting guy recently, and he talked about how your soul needs to come first. And I was like, oh man, that's so true. But 5 years ago or 6 years ago, when I was going through this stuff, I didn't even know, like, I wouldn't have even connected with my soul. So I would have been like, this guy is crazy. But now I'm like, obviously. So is your soul coming first, or is it back there, And what's a priority for you right now? I think that's a good question to ask.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question that unfortunately we're just not kind of in this day and age, we're not challenged or raised that way. So yeah, we have to wait till we're a little bit older and then figure it out ourselves. But luckily, you figured it out when you did, so that you can help as many people as possible. And I think that's just amazing, because it gives you great empathy with others as well. So you fully understand what emotionally they're going through, versus maybe just taking a course and be like, this is probably what they're feeling like. I've never felt like this. But I think this is how it is. So you have both. You have knowledge from all these areas, but you also went through a whole bunch of stuff, and you had to develop yourself to be in a certain state to help people.
Oh, wow. Can I expand on this a little bit more?
Sure. Yes.
Pardon for my cough. Apparently I'm a little under the weather. Should go to a Divine Elements and get a shot or something.
Yes.
So yeah, everything that I've gone through has really allowed me to have the capacity to support the people that I work with. And it's such a gift. And it's really interesting because I've had people approach me when I share a story about something, maybe in an interview or online, and they're like, wow, you went through that, and this is how you live your life. And I'm like, yeah, because everything that happens to us is really happening for us. And when we're really in it and we have tunnel vision, we're not able to see how it's for us. But now that I've overcome it and I've seen my transformations through the obstacles I faced, I'm able to see the value in it. And a big part of really living a life of freedom and expression is being able to forgive yourself and forgive others for the past. And I want to share this because I feel like it's valuable. How much are we good for time, David?
Let's just see. Yep.
Okay. So everything that we go through has an ultimate goal for us. Even the symptoms that we have, whether it's anxiety or if you're feeling depressed or we're feeling, we have pain in the body. I believe that everything that happens in our body and in our life has an ultimate goal for us. So that's how I look at my life, and that's how I look at the work that I do with others too. So for example, when you and I met, David, you had these goals for 10 years from now. And I was like, buddy, we can do that in a year. It can be easy. It's right in front of you. Just step here and now it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's really about seeing these blockages or these resistances in our life, or these stories that we've been telling ourselves, that it's going to take us a certain amount of time to heal something or to overcome or to do or be or create something, or we can't do something. Once we can see that and understand that that just has a goal for us, and we're like, oh, it's making me feel that resistance so I can break through it because it's not even real. And when I can see the pain or feel the pain or this discomfort, I'm able to understand how deeply I still want to go after that thing and pursue it anyways. And that's where a lot of fear can dissolve as well when we are leveling up. So I feel like I could go so rambly right now, so I'll try not to. But for example, one of my clients in the States, she's a rock star. She's one of the best in her industry at what she does in the world. And she does a lot of big events and speaks and all of the things. And it's her normal, right? So we all have our normal where we operate. And then we have that space just above our normal, which is like, oh, I have anxiety, I have fear, I don't want to do it. We like go into default mode. The space doesn't really serve us. We usually push things away that we want. And our old stuff comes up. Maybe it's something from the past, a trauma, a trigger, something someone told us, who knows, right? And then we have a choice. Do we move through it anyways, or do we stay stuck and dim ourselves down? And this has been a theme that's been coming up a lot lately with people that I work with who aren't fully in their power because of their environment or the people. And so anyways, her and I worked together. We did a session and she was experiencing a lot of anxiety because now the people that she's in front of are a lot higher level as far as education and influence. And so within just a few, like 15 minutes of our session, her anxiety went from like a 10 to 0 as far as speaking on stage in front of all of these people. And so the foundation of that is from looking at the areas. I feel like I'm rambling.
Yeah.
Is about looking at the areas where we can level up and noticing the discomfort and then asking, what is this symptom's like ultimate goal for us? And when we're able to really get that and feel that and integrate it, the obstacles dissolves. And that's the cool thing about challenges and symptoms that arise. And I'm just going to leave that piece at that because I feel like I could talk in circles about a bunch of different things right now.
Well, we have more episodes. We're going to have more episodes because you have such great, valuable content. So I think we have one a month scheduled for the next little bit. So anybody that's watching, if you have any questions, you can comment below. If you have any questions for Deidre or myself, or a specific topic maybe you think that might help, comment below. To end it off though, what is maybe one tip somebody could take away to start today to be a better version of themselves? Something super simple that they can implement.
Yeah. So the first piece is notice the areas in your life where you dim yourself down, where you would maybe want to be fully yourself, but you pull back and you find yourself contract. And then ask yourself, is this serving me? I recently did a session with someone on this specifically, and what came through, my cat's in the way, was that she was disappointed at herself for not showing up fully in all areas of her life where she has the opportunity to shine. So my question for you is, to end this, is where are you? I have two questions. Where are you dimming yourself down and not playing full on, right?
Yeah.
And noticing that and knowing that it's a choice. And then second of all is how can you look at your pain, your discomfort, your manifestations of chaos, dis-ease, discomfort in the body, and ask yourself, what is the goal? Like, why is this showing up? And what can I learn from my discomfort? What can I learn from this pain? What can I learn from this symptom? And be with that. And through being with that, you will get your own answers.
Right. Cool. I love it. And yeah, that's super easy that you can implement. Easy meaning it will still be challenging, but you're capable of it. So yeah, we'll leave it like that. Again, comment below with your questions or anything you want to tell us, and we'll do our best to answer it. But we're signing off for today, so we'll see you in about a month.
Sounds good.
All right, cheers.